Chemical properties of metals. The first one is reaction of metals with oxygen of the air. So what happens when metals are burnt in air? Magnesium burns in air with a dazzling white flame and it turns to magnesium oxide. Now this oxide is then dissolved in water and the nature of the solution is checked whether it is acidic or basic. Almost all metals combine with oxygen to form metal oxides. So general reaction is metal plus oxygen forming metal oxide. Now when copper is heated in air, it combines with oxygen to form copper 2 oxide, a black oxide. What is the meaning of copper 2 oxide? Copper 2 oxide means that the oxidation number of copper in this oxide is 2, or the valency of copper is 2. So copper burns in air, it combines with the oxygen of the air to form black color oxide, which is copper oxide. The reaction is Cu plus O2 forming CuO. Similarly, aluminium forms aluminium oxide. Aluminium combines with oxygen of the air to form aluminium oxide. Now this aluminium oxide reacts with acid as well as with base. When it reacts with acid, it acts as a basic oxide, and when it is reacting with a base, it is acting as an acidic oxide. Therefore, oxide of aluminium is also known as amphoteric oxide. Product formed when aluminium oxide reacts with acid, that is HCl, is AlCl3 plus water, and when it reacts with NaOH, it forms NaAlO2 plus water. Similarly, oxide of zinc is also amphoteric. Zinc oxide reacts with HCl to form zinc chloride plus water, and zinc oxide also reacts with NaOH to form Na2ZnO2 plus water. This is sodium zincate. Na2ZnO2 is sodium zincate. So sodium zincate plus water. Now balancing the equation, this is 2HCl and this will be 2NaOH. Most metal oxides are insoluble in water. Most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water, but some dissolve in water to form alkalis. For example, sodium oxide dissolves in water to form NaOH. This aqueous solution of NaOH is known as alkali. Potassium oxide dissolves in water to give potassium hydroxide. Now, metals do not react with oxygen at the same rate. Different metals show different reactivities. Different metals show different reactivities. Means some metals react very vigorously, some react at a moderate speed, and some react very slowly with oxygen. So different metals show different reactivities towards oxygen. Metals such as potassium and sodium. So potassium and sodium, they react vigorously that they catch fire if kept in open. So to protect them and to prevent accidental fires, two reasons: to protect sodium and potassium from reacting with air, from reacting with oxygen present in air, and to prevent accidental fires, they are kept immersed in kerosene oil. So which two metals are kept immersed in kerosene oil? Potassium and sodium. At ordinary temperature, surfaces of metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc, lead are covered with a thin layer of oxide. They are covered with a thin layer of oxide, and because of this reason, these metals, they lose their luster. Aluminium loses its luster when kept in air because of the formation of layer of oxide on its surface. The protective oxide layer prevents the metal from further oxidation. So what is the role of this oxide layer? This layer of oxide prevents the metal from oxidation. Next, iron does not burn on heating, but iron filings burn vigorously when sprinkled in the flame of the burner. Copper does not burn, but the hot metal is coated with a black colored layer of copper oxide. Copper does not burn, but if it is hot, it gets coated with a layer of copper oxide. Silver and gold do not react with oxygen even at high temperatures. So most reactive metals are sodium and potassium, which react vigorously with oxygen of the air even at ordinary temperature. even at normal temperature. Then magnesium, it burns in air. Then at ordinary temperature, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, they get coated with a layer of oxide which prevents them from further oxidation. Iron does not burn on heating, but iron filings burn vigorously when sprinkled in the flame. Copper also does not burn, iron does not burn, copper does not burn, but if copper metal is hot, then it gets coated with a layer of copper oxide. The most unreactive metals are silver and gold. These do not react with oxygen even at high temperature. So most reactive are sodium and potassium, and which do not react with oxygen even at high temperature are silver and gold. Now there is a process which is known as anodizing. Anodizing or anodization. What is this process? It is a process of forming a thick layer of oxide of aluminium on the surface of aluminium. When aluminium is kept exposed to the air, then it develops a thin layer of its oxide on its surface. But if you want a thick layer of oxide, aluminium oxide on the surface of aluminium metal, then anodization is the process. So during anodizing, what happens? A clean aluminium article is made at the anode. This is made the anode, and electrolyte used is dilute sulfuric acid. The oxygen gas which is evolved at the anode combines with aluminium and forms a thick protective layer of aluminium oxide. This layer of oxide can be dyed easily to give aluminium articles an attractive finish. So most reactive metal is sodium. Magnesium, less vigorous reaction. It is not as reactive as sodium. Now there are some other reactions which will help in deciding the reactivity of metals.